how do they avoid the fake shamans?
That's the trick. I mean, that's...
Or like, what are the things that they can look for, et cetera? Because that is a concern of mine. If they listen to this and then they go after it and then they end up in the hands of some fucking douchebag in Tulum.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's no real shamans in Tulum.
So don't do it in Tulum.
Don't do ayahuasca in Tulum. Ayahuasca is not natural in Tulum. It's not. There's no. People say, "Oh, my shaman's been learned with the shamans in Tulum," but the Tulum is peyote, like grandfather medicines. Not ayahuasca. Ayahuasca comes from the rainforest, right? So the thing is, the tricky part, like, I can't name someone who was serving medicine 5 years ago in America, because ayahuasca, what happens is they start trying to cheat the system, right? So like, okay, I'm not going to drink it. They tell me, oh, I've just drank enough ayahuasca. I'm already connected. So then they don't drink the medicine. They serve it to all these people. Ayahuasca, like, oh, really? And now you don't know what's going to happen. So they like all of a sudden was like, and and so then if someone has a really bad experience, anyone else who's in that room is never going to drink medicine with that person again and tell everyone not to. So by default, karma fixes that. How are you going to be a shaman with no one to serve?
Yep.
It's like being a chef when no one wants to eat your food.
Yeah. The restaurant
Pick something
closes.
else. You know? And so I'd say trust your intuition. How long has someone been doing it? But a lot of people, there are good mechanics and there are bad mechanics. There's bad mechanics, been mechanic for 26 years.
Right.
So it's really fucking tricky, man.
So in other words, like, make sure they're highly recommended by somebody that you know and trust and has had that experience.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, anyone who's promoting like my Instagram says I'm an ayahuasquero because I am an ayahuasquero, but I'm not like putting posts on my story like ceremony in Los Angeles. That, watch out for that. For me, 100, I would say 99% of the people I serve medicine to are coming because someone they know
was like, you got to do it
with him.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I've served medicine to over 8,000 people, man.
Yeah.
And there's never been a promotional post with it. Ayahuasca, my job as an ayahuasquero is to plant seed and to build bridges. My job is not to serve ayahuasca to the whole world. It's impossible. So if I plant the seed, like you had the seed planted by someone.
Emily, thank you, Emily, so much for making this happen. Emily at Ampersand Studios, and you were very sweet to make this connection. And thank you for coming here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching your stuff for a while. I saw you on Rogan. And
Respect.
Those monologues
are the goat. Thank you.
The monologues. I didn't realize that was part of a Netflix special. I was catching those monologues. I was like, thank God someone's dropping it. But you can say it because you're a comedian.
Right. Exactly.
Shaman. They
go. How dare you? How dare you have a belief?
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you not agree with everything the narrative? But man, it's just tricky. You have to like word of mouth, someone you know, number one. Yep. But at the end of the day, it's preparation and intention. Like good reasons to to experience the medicine. But at the end of the day, I can tell you one thing for sure, that I've never ever heard anyone ever tell me ever that they wish they didn't do it. I don't care if you have stage 5 pancreatic cancer and you were literally purging for 3.5 hours. I don't care if you're coming with the only intention of healing child molestation, right? I don't care if you thought you were a really good person. That's the best. The people that think they're really good people, and then ayahuasca is like, really? Because they're so delusional that they think they're really good, but they're just thieves, those are the people that get, because then they're like, no, it's not true. It's like, no, it's true. And here's a million examples, those people get like, but everyone comes out better. Everyone's always better, more connected. You're going to get exactly what you need, especially in the right setting, with someone who knows what they're doing.
Do you do these ceremonies in America?
Yes.
And then how do you get the ayahuasca to America, or is that an illegal question to ask?
I mean, the detail. No, so
because it is an illegal substance, right?
No, actually, ayahuasca is legal. The thing is, there's no DMT. DMT is illegal.
And the DMT is in the chacruna. Chacruna.
Yeah.
And
which is added.
How do you get that?
Well, so the thing is that I have an organization that was, is headquartered in Costa Rica, registered in 5 other countries, being the United States. And so when we're dealing with like the matrix, we're dealing with law and legalities, right? So the case law regarding medicinal, the using of drugs as medicinal or religious purposes has already been argued. 2006 Supreme Court case with this guy, James Mooney from the UDV Native American Church with peyote and marijuana. Mm-hmm. And then there's 2008 precedents for ayahuasca in the Supreme Court, and in 2010. So all the precedents and the statutory laws put in place on the Supreme Court down to the state Supreme Court level regarding the usage of ayahuasca. So I think that ayahuasca should stay exactly the way it is. I think that if you're selling ayahuasca to people, you should be prosecuted. There's a big difference between distributing a banned substance and someone sending a donation into an organization for a seat in a ceremony. If you come to the ceremony and you drink 2.5 cups, then I don't charge you $150 per cup. That's distributing a banned substance, and that's illegal.
You're paying for a ceremony that happens to have...
You're sending a donation into an organization
right.
for a seat in a ceremony, which is up to 20 people, at which the sacrament is ayahuasca.
Yes.
Whether you drink a half a cup, 2 cups, 1 cup, irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's how we operate.
Got you.
That's the legal way for any religious organization to distribute wine to a minor.
Yeah. Got you. Okay, now, so in other words, you are getting the actual ayahuasca and the chacruna from the rainforest. You're not like
100%.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't made so fresh. I serve hundreds of I serve a lot of ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's always being made and it's always being sent to wherever I'm going. I have a whole organization. It's just all taken care of.
Yeah.
I basically just deal with myself.
I love it.
I serve medicine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It gets there.
It's going to be there. I just worry to make sure I'm there.
Right.
And everything is going to be taken care of,
Thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Alex has a question. Oh, Alex is curious about your opinion on Dr. Sebi. Are you familiar with Dr. Sebi?
The vegan guy?
Yeah.
Who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Dr. Sebi, he had the revolution regarding, what's my opinion? I mean, I think that anything that becomes too indoctrinated, like there's no one solution, right?
Yeah.
So for example, like humans are humans, right? But if you go one step down, the human is the animal aware with the soul within, right? But if you look at just the animal of man, there's many kinds of man, right? So whereas like no one should be eating red meat only, but at the same time, not every person will benefit from never having that in their system.
Some humans might be able to digest it better than others. There isn't one way.
And so like the religion, like veganism, for example, has become a religion. The new virtue signaler is like, I'm a vegan. So you have like vegan friends, like half my friends, like we're going to go to why go to a steakhouse and then bitch that they don't have good vegan options?
Yeah,
you don't see steak eaters going to the vegan place and bitching. It's just disrespectful,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I made this post one time. I said, Hitler was a vegetarian and Jesus ate meat. Your diet doesn't define your spirituality.
Right.
And people went crazy. Like, how dare you compare Hitler and Jesus? I'm like, how dare I compare the eating habits of two well-known historical figures? So I think Dr. Sebi was amazing from the perspective of he really embodied one aspect, but I look at the whole thing of taking care of the human body or the spirit as like Hinduism. Like they have many gods and goddesses, and you may be drawn to one thing. You may be a devotion of Krishna, but that doesn't mean that the other paths don't exist, Like after my first ayahuasca ceremony, I didn't eat any meat or any animal product for like 2.5 years. I went from like 216 to like 165, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm like 202 right now, right? Then I went and visited a friend. He has like this farm. He's like, has like this most amazing lamb. I was like, lamb. I'm like Afghan, so I'm like, lamb. DNA is like, you know what I mean? The DNA activate.
Yeah.
And I ate that, man. I took the first bite and I felt my body just come alive, like saying, thank God, right? And after I ate it, I felt like completely rejuvenated,
Interesting.
Right? So I feel the goal with anything is to find your path. Like I do green juice and celery juice like 3 days a week preparing for ceremony, but on Monday, I may order lamb if my body says.
Yeah.
For the most part, I stay vegan, but I know what I need. And that's the key. Ask someone what I need. I think going in, you mean what I think of him as a person or his system?
Philosophy. Yeah.
I think it's Yeah, I think his philosophy is important to exist on the earth, just as like a Buddha or any of these. We needed an Osho. We needed all these different personas to come and that embody one specific thing for us to see as a guiding light. And maybe we go down that path for a month. Maybe you go down that path for 5 years, right? But the point is, you'll have another tool in the surgery of life to be able to implement with precision, But I would never just like, this is the only way. It's absolutely not true. There's no, there's no way. But I think, but him as a person, like, let's look at him, like, he's a living Buddha.